of being challenged by the mainstream. Of course, it takes a lot more steps in regards to in servicing the mainstream teachers on how their learning styles are a little bit different, in servicing the interpreters so that the interpreters know the different age levels and the expectations. And then I always keep really good communication with the mainstream teacher to make sure that we can problem solve anything. But I have most of my students are capable of mainstream, and I really, really push for it.
That's
Strong
awesome.
advocate of it,
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about Blackwell being a school of choice is how we offer sign language as kind of like a second language, so that everyone in the building is exposed to it and learns it in mini lessons throughout the week. So that's kind of incorporating or creating more of a warm environment for our deaf and hard of hearing students to kind of feel like if there is an interpreter to interpret or translate for them, they can kind of mingle with the hearing students, and vice versa. The hearing are able to create friendships with the deaf.
Right.
I think Blackwell does a really great job too of differentiating for all the different levels versus whether they're hearing or deaf.
Right.
Meeting their different needs.
Yeah.
My mom is a principal and was a teacher for many years.
Okay.
She taught special ed, so I've grown up in schools.
Yeah.
That was the cool thing to do. I would go hang out at my mom's school. So I kind of always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. The ironic part is that my mom was a special educator, and I purposely didn't go into special ed because it's what my mom did. And I thought, oh, sign language looks cool. Maybe I'll try it out. So I kind of just jumped into it.
Yeah.
I'm a dancer, so I found that signing has been perfect for me because I'm so used to expressing myself
Right.
with my body that now I
Yeah.
express myself with my hands. So it was a perfect fit. So the challenges that I've found with the deaf and hard of hearing students, I think I'm facing a lot of it right now, is coming into their reading. How do I differentiate between American Sign Language and English, and making sure they have the strong foundational skills for reading and literacy, decoding and word recall, all the different components under your umbrella of literacy. But then also, how do I continue to build their expressive language of American Sign Language? And it's not the same for every child, but I've really had to use a lot of the deaf, or make some deaf mentors in the building, a lot of the deaf adults, and how did you learn how to read, and then how can I incorporate that with my students,
Right.
and then do a lot of research on my own just to kind of make sure they're getting it. In kindergarten, I feel like I'm laying the foundation, so if I mess up, I'm really creating a big barrier for them in the future. In regards to my hearing students, I struggle. The challenges this year have been from families that just basically speak a different language.
Right.
Not that the families aren't engaged or participating, but the homeschool connection is really important to me, and I wish I could speak like 12 languages because I would much rather have the personal conversation myself than have to go through a translator. So I really just trying to go above and beyond and make any accommodations, visuals to just kind of bridge that gap, just so I don't always have to use a translator per se.
Right.